Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and I got a very special shout out for my longtime fan, Guersan. You are the best there is, the best there was, and the best ever will be.
All right, well, hello guys. It is time for another, or actually a first interview since the last one we did with Scopely. This time it is with JBurn from Grim Creepers.
So the man, the myth, the legend.
I don't know all about that, but
the original Creep Squad OG, JBurn. Welcome to the PapaCast.
Thank you for having me, both of you. I appreciate it.
You know, it's actually like, you know, you went on telling me how you were honored to be a guest here, but it's the other way around, man. It's really an honor to have, and I say this with no sarcasm, with no hyperbole whatsoever. You really are the man, the myth, and the legend in this game. You know, you actually, I don't know how much you remember of our relationship before you got deployed last year, but you brought me into Creep Squad from Creepy Legends. And
no, I remember.
In the short time we developed a little bit of a relationship. You gave me a lot of good advice, and then I just soared from there and became what I am now. And like, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but a lot of people consider me a legend in this game, and I'm far from it. But you know, I wouldn't be where I am without you.
Well, it's the same with me, man. I wouldn't be where I'm at without most of the players that we had. And you remember back in the day, we were just struggling. Most of you remember it was always on game chat when we were sitting there joking. Yeah. We didn't have anything, and then we eventually moved up the line, and it was like the greatest thing in the world. You know,
right? Line was the greatest thing in the world. Then we tried that other app. I think it was called Band. We tried that for one feud, and it was horrible.
We actually got paid for that, though.
Oh, did we? That's pretty cool. Well, I still haven't seen my royalties from that, so
I'll send you your penny, man.
Still waiting on that check.
Penny.
But
no, I remember, man. And like I said, honestly, it was all the hard work of the players, man. As leaders, you really only just put out some information and try to guide as much as you can. But back in the day, players just had heart, a lot of heart, and they still do. So I think that was the key to everything.
I mean, I remember when I first started playing this game, and feuds weren't a thing. There was no such thing as a faction feud. And I was like, what's the purpose of a faction, right? So the only reason I even joined a faction was because you needed to join a faction to like get 100 cash from Vince's missions or something. Like, that's how far back I'm going. So I joined like the first faction I saw in there. And then it said you had to, like, I think, help heal or get your superstars healed to finish missions. And I would put up a superstar, and it would always come back unhealed.
Yeah.
No. And I was like, oh, I don't even know what this is. And then the feuds came around, and I was like, what is this? So then I saw in global chat, oh, join this faction. I forgot what faction it was. Join this faction, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I joined that faction. I went to feud. I was like, oh, this is fun, but it's taking me like 35 minutes to get into this one. I really want to, like, this looks like something I enjoy. And I'm not going to lie, I was one of those guys who looked at the leaderboard and said, hey, maybe like I could squeeze into one of these top factions. So, of course, I looked at Creep Squad at the time, and Creep Squad, it was 99 out of 100, but it was closed. And then I forgot who was second place. I think Drinky Clan was second place. And they were
that's the first faction I ever joined. It was Drinky Clan NXT.
And they were at 100 out of 100. And then the third place faction at the time was Legends Live Forever. And it was like 97 out of 100. So I hit request, and like a minute later it says, you have been accepted by Danger Kenny B.
Oh, Danger Kenny.
So he's like, hey, but Big Papa, you know, we have some strict requirements here, but we see that you have a 3-star bronze Brock Lesnar, so we're going to give you a shot. Like, that was the big deal back then, a 3-star bronze Brock Lesnar. And, you know, it was like the third day of a 72-hour feud. And I feuded a little bit. And, you know, I started getting, like you said, there was in-game chat. You know, we started our line group as well. The next feud, like, we fell apart, and we ended up merging with Creep Squad.
I forgot about those 72-hour feud.
And
Lord.
I mean, that's.
Thank God I wasn't hardcore back then.
And that was the first time that I met you. You know, like Kenny said, listen, you know, we're ready to move you up to Creep Squad. I need you to message JBurn so you can get in, so he can get you in there. And, you know, you and I had a little conversation, and you were like, you said the thing that I felt was the most humble thing I've ever heard from a person in the world. And I don't know if you remember saying this, but I'm going to remind you and tell everybody what it was. You told me what you did for a living, and you told me that you were military. And I have nothing but respect for all branches of the armed forces. And my exact words to you were, thank you for your service. And do you remember your answer to me?
I believe I said something like it's my job or
yeah. No need to thank me. I get paid for what I do.
Yeah.
But
that's the usual.
But we do need to thank you because our country is safe. We're a free country because of people like you.
No, I appreciate it.
And I know you got a paycheck, and I know you probably got a handsome paycheck for it. But
ain't military getting cheap pay for the hard work they do?
But you put your life on the line every day.
I always thought military were way underpaid.
I mean, it depends on your rank and your position in the military. I mean, the man was deployed for 8 months, so we know he was doing some hard work.
Well, still putting your life on the line.
Yeah.
No amount of money is enough.
Well, I don't do that anymore. I'm retired now. I retired last year, so.
Thank God for small things, right?
No, tell me about it. So, yeah, life has changed a little bit. Trying to get a new identity going and moving forward. Pretty much all you can do.
That's it.
My dad was in the military in France. Like I'm from France originally. My dad was a paratrooper, and in France, military service was mandatory, so you didn't have a choice to enroll. As soon as you hit 18, you got to go. My grandpa was in the military as well. His father, he escaped twice from concentration camps during the World War in Germany.
Yeah.
Wow,
so my grandfather and my uncle, they're both long deceased. They both served in World War II, and many years ago, obviously. And I've always had a respect for the military. Again, you made a choice to, like Max was saying, his father was forced into the military at the age of 18. In Israel, you're forced into the military at age 18. You chose to go into the military and made a career out of it. And, it's not an easy decision to make, especially you're away from your family the entire time you were deployed. I'm sure your wife and kids were not with you in Afghanistan.
Yeah, no, they weren't with me.
Right. So, the few times that you get to video chat with them are probably very precious moments.
Thank God for video chat these days, too.
Right. They didn't have that years ago.
No.
You were deployed. You went 8 months without seeing your family. You were lucky just to get a piece of paper with their handwriting on it. So.
Letter.
But I digress. So tell us about you. I mean, I've already basically given away the whole military secret, but tell us about you, the person. Who is JBurn?
Let's see. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, born and raised. Jumped around a lot with my parents. Eventually ended up in North Hollywood, California. Wasn't the best teenager in the world, so got in a little bit of trouble. Towards the end, let's say when about 16, 17 years old, I had to decide what I wanted to do in my life. And when I hit 17, I wanted to join the military. And I couldn't join at the time because I was 18. So my mother had to sign. Let's see. And I turned 18 in basic training. And ever since then, I've been in the military, almost 27 years. Or was. So, and that was pretty much it, man. Not much to it.
And as far as wrestling is concerned, at what point, because nobody plays this game that doesn't have a passion of some sort for wrestling.
Oh, right? Wow.
So at what point did wrestling become a part of your life?
It was actually, I want to say it was somewhere in the early 80s. I went to a friend's house and I want to say it was either New Japan or it was NWA. I don't remember at the time, but it was the British Bulldogs. But they weren't a tag team yet. They were, I think, in New Japan, and they were always fighting each other all the time. And when I saw them, I was like, wow, they impressed me. After that, then I just started kind of watching wrestling when the first WrestleMania came out, and then just followed it ever since. So I went probably 84 was the earliest I started watching it.
Okay.
So British Bulldogs are always my favorite, man.
No, well, Hall. We have a guy, Hall, in our faction who is in love with the British Bulldog. He has the only person I know in the entire game that has a 4-star bronze British Bulldog and swears by him.
I love the British Bulldogs, especially when they came to the WWF at the time. I really liked it. What they had those feuds with the Hart Foundation. Those are
some of the classic feuds. If you go back as far as WrestleMania 3, that was probably one of the best. I mean, WrestleMania 3 by far had the best matches, straight up. Steamboat versus Savage.
Oh yeah, I remember those matches.
That was a great match. Hogan Andre. I mean, who could forget that? But was it WrestleMania? Yeah, it was WrestleMania 3 where they had the Hart Foundation versus.
No, I think it was 2.
Maybe it was WrestleMania 2.
No, WrestleMania 2. I think it was the Hammer, and they were the Dream Team.
The Dream Team versus the Hart Foundation.
It was against the British Bulldogs, but they never got the titles.
No, but there was a WrestleMania. I believe it was WrestleMania 3 was the Hart Foundation versus the Bulldogs.
That might have been the one.
Where the Hart Foundation won the titles.
That might have been it.
And that was a classic match as well. I mean, wrestling's not what it used to be. We all know that. It's more of a soap opera now than it ever was. We still enjoy it. We still watch it, but
it's a full contact soap opera.
That's really.
Hey, I was that guy, man, that used to believe that wrestling was real. You couldn't tell me otherwise, man.
Oh yeah,
that was real. I mean, come on. You had Jake the Snake Robertson there with a boa, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, with what was it, the Komodo Dragon?
Yeah.
I actually started watching again when I started playing the game. Like I pretty much stopped watching after the end of the Attitude Era, and I started again like a little under 2 years ago when I started playing the game. And I started like pretty much at the start of the Attitude and stopped after.
Yeah, but that was it, man. I fell in love with wrestling after that, and it just became a passion. I mean, they had Saturday Night Heat, where on Saturday nights they would, on I think it was like NBC. You can watch it late at night.
Oh yeah, the main event. It was like 11. It was instead of the what show?
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
Yep, instead of Saturday Night Live, it was Saturday night.
And I remember as a little kid, when the TV guide would come, I would always open up to see if there was a Saturday Night's main event that week, and I'd be like, "Oh, Saturday Night Live again."
Yeah, my cousin used to come over, and we used to watch it and try to steal my dad's liquor, and then put water in it after.
Nice.
So they used to be our Saturdays, man. It was adventurous.
So here in New York, we actually it was 3 a.m. every Saturday. There was on this radio station. It was a sports radio, the WFAN, the Fan, very famous station here in New York. There was a guy who just talked about wrestling for an hour every Saturday from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Now, mind you, I'm like 8, 9 years old. My brother's like 17, 18 years old. And the two of us are trying to stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning to listen to this radio show. Remember, there's no podcasts back then. There's no internet to go back and listen to it if you missed it. You missed it.
Yeah.
And the most exciting day of the year for that was always daylight savings time, where it came on at 2 o'clock in the morning instead of 3 o'clock in the morning. Because it was like, but that's how much like we loved wrestling, and it brings me back to my childhood even now watching wrestling. I have a 7-year-old son, and when I'm watching Raw or I'm watching SmackDown or I'm watching a pay-per-view and he comes down and goes, "Oh, I want to watch with you." And he sits down and watches. Or when I'm playing the game and he sits down, when he grabs his iPad and pulls up his account and he wants to play, and it's a bonding experience. It's an experience I have with my father. The first wrestling event I went to was with my father, and my father doesn't watch wrestling now, but he went because his children wanted to go.
It was pretty painful here to watch when I was younger because we didn't get the English version. We only had the French version, and the translation were terrible. I mean, obviously, like later on, the Rougeau brother took over and did the commentary.
Right, they're much better at it. Yeah.
But still, it's terrible. It's a translation. So it was really painful to watch. So I didn't watch we started to have the English version about when the Attitude Era started. That's when I started watching on TV. Because even nowadays, we don't have USA Network in Canada. It's Sportsnet that plays the Raw and SmackDown. So,
well, that makes sense that you wouldn't have.
But at least we have the English version now. But back then, you only had the French version, and it was like 3 days delayed. Obviously, you didn't have much of internet back then, so you didn't get spoiled by everything. But still, you were watching Monday Night not Raw on a Thursday, so that wasn't great. Exactly. Or a Saturday, even, I think.
Right.
That's good. That's good, man. I'm with you about the Attitude Era, man. Ever since
Attitude Era was the shit. I'm sorry.
Ever since it ended, it's just been kind of falling and tapering off a bit. So
back when you could add controversy on TV.
Oh yeah,
I was watching Raw this Monday, and when Alicia Fox and Mickie James attacked Trish and Lita, and then they turned around and beat the crap out of them. They're like, "That's how we do it, Attitude Era style." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, back in the day, that was the best, man. I remember flipping back and forth from WCW to Raw, going back and forth. Oh yeah,
and that was still before the DVR too. The DVR didn't come out till what, the early 2000s, maybe a little later.
I don't know. I don't know how much Trish liked the Attitude Era because they really had her do some demeaning shit.
Oh, they did. I mean, what is it? Pudding competitions.
Oh yeah, and the barking and
bra and panties match.
I mean, that was a terrible era for them.
Did she have to kiss Vince's ass? Wasn't one of the didn't the female kiss his ass?
I don't remember if she had to, but like she had to bark like a dog on all four.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
I mean, the women's division has come so far, but
yeah.
So let's get back to talking about this life addiction that we all have called WWE Champions.
You mean gambling?
Legalized gambling, illegalized gambling,
disguised gambling.
Disguised gambling, whatever you want to call it these days. But so you left, if my memory serves me correctly, sometime around July 2017.
Yes, it was towards the middle of July.
Right. I remember I was on vacation and I had messaged you, hey, I'm back on vacation. Let me know when I should head back into the faction. And the next time I heard from you was, hey, buddy, I'm headed out to Afghanistan. We'll chat in 8 months or whatever it was. And a lot of people contribute the and this, nothing against Super or Reigns, but a lot of people contribute the execution takeover to your leaving. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know, man. I'm not going to answer something I really don't know about. I don't know what happened during that period. I know I left Reigns as the president. I had horrible reception the whole time I was gone, so I couldn't even really get on the game or anything else. Right. So I didn't really want to mess with it if I couldn't give it 100%. When I got back, I just saw all the changes, and that was pretty much it. That's the only thing I know about that. I don't really want to say too much because I don't know. And
that's fair. So let's talk about the actual game itself, because the game definitely changed. You came back, I believe, somewhere around April or May this year.
Yeah, I think it was like April, if I remember right.
So we're talking about 8-9 months difference. The game changed, and incredibly changed in those 9 months.
Trainers for once.
Well, there were trainers, but so Sting, the red MP trainer, George Steele, the green MP trainer, were not available before you left, and now everybody has them, and you're getting crushed by Andre, you're getting crushed by NBT Brock. They started all these collection events, and your account, which was once like the superior account, I think you had the first 200K account where everybody's sitting there on these 60, 70K accounts. Now your 200K account is sitting there like, you got a 400K account? What the fuck? So what was it like adjusting to the way the game is now as opposed to the way it was back then?
I see the game is a lot more streamlined now. There's more accessibility to a lot of the resources that we didn't have before. We were short on, well, let's say a perfect example, when we used to get our tokens. Remember how hard it was to get your 3-star gold token at one time?
Right, now this guy over here curses when he gets a 3-star gold token in an urn.
Yeah. I mean, I get them all day long now, but we couldn't get them before.
I remember when Sunday Night Heat first came out and you were getting that 3-star gold token at the end of the week. You're like, oh my God, I'm guaranteed a 3-star gold token every week.
I want to transfer those 3-star gold to 2-star gold, which I can't get.
And that's what I'm saying. The game has evolved so much. Before, it was more, if you put a lot of money into the game, you moved up. Now you can be a free player and still do pretty well in the game. So it's a lot more streamlined, I think.
Right. So a lot of the major complaints that we see on social media, speaking of free-to-play players, in fact, Max and I were just having I'll call it a conversation with a free-to-play player on Twitter, is the free-to-play players are always going to complain that the paying player has an advantage. And yes, the paying player is always going to have advantage because you're willing to put something that the free-to-play player is not willing to put into it.
Wouldn't be any point to spend money if you didn't.
Right. So, why are you going to spend on a new character when that new character means absolutely nothing, and I'm going to do just as well at the game with the free character that I got? I get why that's going to happen. However, if you look at the game the way it is now, the way it's based, as you're saying, the free-to-play player has a lot more accessibility to everything. Getting the tokens, getting the 2-star gold tokens, the 2-star silver, the 3-star gold tokens, even the 4-star silver tokens. I would say they have.
You're also not limited either. You remember back in the day, we were limited to whatever wrestlers that were putting out at the time. So at one point, Big Daddy Cool Diesel was like the player you had to have because you actually used them. In ABA, you used ABA and so on.
Right.
Now
I remember getting ABA to 3 stars so I could clear the Attitude Era part in the road.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's the way it was. ADR was the man you had to beat on Versus and everything else you did.
Right. Especially with those country links. Yeah.
Exactly. And everything changes, you know. Now it's pretty well balanced out now. You know, anybody can take on anybody.
I mean, the guys, like, if you get to the top of Verse, you're going to see Eddie. You're going to see Rollins up there. You know, all the guys who get their moves off on the first turn are going to be at the top of Verse. We understand that.
Oh, I've seen your 4-star Silver Tough a couple of times. Trust me.
He's no joke. I get it.
Yeah, okay.
I got a 4-star Silver Volkov too. So.
Okay. Well, that's a different story.
So, yeah. But, I mean, it's also there are more characters in the game now. And there are characters that you have out of necessity. For example, like if you have Tough, you have to get him as high as possible because he's the best character in the game. And he's fast, and you can play very well with him in Feud. Same thing with either an MBT or a Volkov. Yeah. You want to get Eddie up because he's really annoying on defense.
Yeah, at least with the 4-star now, there's a lot of the top 3 of every class that are actually free players. Like Goldberg, for example. Everyone can have Goldberg, and you can do very damn well with him at 4-star.
Oh, definitely.
Goldberg. Who else? The Rock. The Rock is amazing now.
Yeah.
Like, is he better than Piper? No.
You don't have as much. Good. You don't have as much of a need for great characters that you used to. You can do just fine with the character you get just from the game without ever doing a single pull for them.
No, of course. Like I said, there's so many more characters that you can choose from, and pretty much everyone's equal across the board. You know, before you would struggle to try to get your character up and everything else. Now you see tons of people out there, even in Versus with low rosters, or even in a Feud that have pretty high characters, and they're doing damage with those characters and are being successful. Yeah. So it's changed.
No, it's true. The game definitely has evolved in the past. Ever since 4-star, 4-star really changed the game. I was one who was a little skeptical about the 4-stars coming out, saying, you know, it's going to change the game. You know, there are guys now that I never would have made 3-star gold, but once they get the 4-star, I know they're going to be awesome. So I have them sitting at 3-star gold, waiting for some 4-star tokens. You know, like the technician Randy Orton, he's horrible 3-star. Yeah. Like
once you give him the 4-star, though, that's a different story.
4-stars, he's a beast. Yeah. So,
but I remember when we beta tested the 4-star. We were all saying, you're never going to need MP trainers anymore. You're going to put 2 good trainers. Well, we still all use MP trainers on them anyway.
The reason you use the MP trainer is just, you know, to get that speed. Because, you know, we know that the Feud is all about speed. And the fact is, in Verse, if somebody else is using an MP trainer, yeah, you're going to beat them, but it's going to cost you 15 health packs, which... Yeah. So...
Huge differences now, but... That's good.
But if you're playing dailies for fun, you don't need the MP trainers. And that's the thing is you can have fun. You could play with different characters and have fun playing with them. You know, like a guy like Dude Love, I really enjoy doing my dailies with him because he's fun. You know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Dude Love. Let's see who's another one. I hate Cactus Jack, man. I cannot stand playing him. Lord, that drives me insane.
Especially if you're using a Balor or a Tough. Yeah. I have Cactus Jack. I got him as a Feud prize. He's still sitting there at 3-star silver level 1. I haven't had the desire to level him yet.
I mean, a good character I don't like to use is Macho. I really don't have fun playing with him.
I used to at 3-star gold. I haven't pulled the trigger. I'm waiting for a good evolve event. I'm gonna make him 4-star bronze.
He's 3-star gold right now, but I really don't enjoy him, and I really don't have much success with him. His damage output is not that great.
You're doing something wrong then.
It's like I can never set up a good cascade with his choose move.
So yeah, the idea with Macho is you got to use the black move to set up where he breaks more black gems and get it off two times before you. Yeah.
I'm probably going to get Alexa 4-star before him.
No way.
No, I'm telling you, man, Alexa's the way to go. Very versatile.
I need I need a second 4-star female for if I lose my Ronda.
Yeah, Ronda.
Because on the last feud, if I lost Ronda, I didn't have anything left to feud. And when you were fighting like roster of 4 or 5 4-stars.
Right.
Well, you only have Ronda. Sometime you're gonna get fucked by the board, and and
That's
then I had to fight with a 3-star page. So
well, that's when you either tag the person you're with, or you put your iPad down and go take a nap for 25 minutes.
yeah, but when it's a
And
2
you do what you
versus
gotta do.
2, when it's a 2 versus 2, there's quite a high chance that the person you're with doesn't have a 4-star either.
And again, and when that happens, you put the iPad down for 20 minutes. You go get a drink. You have some lunch. You take a nap. I don't know what. Set
There's
timer.
no
come
such
back.
thing as a 20-minute break during a feud. That's 20 minutes
If
of
you're
wasted
stuck, you're stuck.
scores.
Listen, if you're stuck, you're stuck. You know, gone are the days of leaving your faction and rejoining to get back in.
Yeah, those days are way over now. So
Yeah.
no, I understand what you're saying, man. It's different though, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy the game still, no matter which way you look at it. It keeps the mind going, keeps you busy, keeps something going. And
Yeah.
believe it or not, man, it's like a family if you really think about it. Everybody
Definitely
talks
is,
to
yeah.
everybody. Everybody knows everybody, and it's the way it is. I enjoy it.
I like that it's like not how can I say it? It's not a game that you have to be really concentrated on, or like I can play it like, for instance, this summer when my daughter was in the pool. I don't necessarily want to go with the pool either, but I can't leave her there. I got to be there too. So that was a great game to just like be on the deck and playing the game while still being there. Like I'm not like gonna get killed because I didn't watch my screen for a second. It's not like an arcade game. Something
Right,
you can
not-
do, or
not like
you
a
can
Street
just play
Fighter
while
or,
watching TV, things like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's changed, like I said. Even feuds, I was so happy when they were only 24-hour feuds, not 2-day, 3-day feuds.
Yeah. I remember the one time they did a 48-hour after we were used to getting 24 hours, and we never saw 48 hours since, but it sucked so bad that weekend.
Yeah, it's the 48-hour feuds are rough, especially, you know, when you want to maintain a top faction spot and you want to maintain your scores and you want to maintain this, and it's hard. And like honestly, you know, we all have families, you know, we all have wives, we all have children, and we want to spend as much time as possible with our kids and our spouses, obviously. But we really enjoy playing the game, and so it's really hard to balance sometimes. So how do you balance, you know, family life and game life?
Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I started balancing the game a little bit more. I was 100% game, and everything else kind of fell to the side. So a couple of weeks ago, I just kind of started staying away a little bit more from Discord and just focusing on the game, knocking out my dailies, doing the things I have to do. And honestly, it's mostly set on a routine. If you get up in the mornings, you have nothing going on, that's usually what I do. Take the kids to school, get back. I have about an hour or so before the wife gets up, finish my dailies, do whatever I need to do, and then the new dailies pop up. I try to clear them out, and that's it. That's really about all you can do. You know, that's the best way to kind of roll it. And then, you know, kiss my wife's ass all the time so that I can feud for 24 hours. So that's
Like
the best way.
I made a commitment to myself this year. So I'm a teacher, and I changed schools this year, and I'm in a new school, and I'm teaching a new grade. And I made a commitment to myself that I was not going to play the game at work this year. Like even during a break, even during my lunch period, if I got to work an hour early, I wasn't going to play the game at work this year. And I think I've only broken that out of the 40 days we've been in school so far this school year. I think I've broken it twice, which
That's
is
good.
Which is not bad considering I used to sit there. I get to work an hour and a half before school starts and literally sit there for the entire hour and a half playing. You know, so
Yeah, I don't have the luxury of not playing or not doing anything for a couple of days. I remember when I had my first surgery in January, I didn't post anything for 2 days. And man, I saw like my stats dropped on my channel like crazy. It took like a month to go back to my normal stat just because I took a break 2 days.
It's hard, but you have to take a break or you're going to burn out very quick.
yeah, I mean, I took a break from the whole YouTube thing for most of the summer because my summer job is a lot more taxing on my body. I work in a day camp. I'm outdoors. So I was like, I can't spend 8.5 hours directly in the sun and then come and want to sit here and, you know, do anything but veg out on the couch until I go to bed.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
I spend 6 hours a day on the channel. Well, actually, probably like 2-3 hours on the channel and playing the game, and about 3 hours answering messages from everyone.
I mean,
Daily.
He gets more messages than Scopely does. It's
I get from 200 to 300 message a day.
I can imagine, man. I just
At
imagine.
least. There's worse day than others. On average day, it's from 200 to 300. Answer every damn one of them.
So it's funny because you were saying how staying off Discord is one of the big. It's hard. Like you see the message pop up, and you're like, or you see the notification on Discord, and it's hard to take a step away. But like once you get sucked in, and then you're like, oh, you know what? Let me open up the game, see what's going on, and nothing's going on. You did your dailies. There's not a feud going on. There's not a blitz going on. Yet you still find yourself opening the game, staring at your roster, looking through verse to see if you want to just attack somebody because it's something to do. Then you look at your TP stash, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I could farm for a little bit. I do need some TP.
Well, half my Discord messages are creepy, all those healings and expeditions.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on that. The hundreds of heal me, please. It's something we're working on, man. But no,
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You don't want people going unhealed because if they get 13 out of 15 on a 4-star character, first of all, they don't get them. You wasted 13 heal tokens.
I don't even know why you would want to get healed outside of Feud. Just use another character. You got a week to heal him. He's gonna heal over time.
That's one of the problems. I guess people are just stuck to using the same character over and over and over again, and then now I have to heal, a 4-star, and I'm wasting all my tokens on that individual.
Yeah, even during the feuds, I don't ask for heals because I don't want to wait 30 minutes for it. I got a feud.
I think last feud I put up 1 heal because we already had 110 million lead, and there was 2 hours left in the feud. I was like, you know what, I'm putting up a heal.
Yeah, I the only time I've put it was when I was taking my nap. I put up my Ronda there because I wasn't going to play for a couple hours, but I knew that it wasn't enough to fill her up when I was going to wake up.
Right.
But you can also go to the token bags, though. Everybody gets the money bags. I got to get the heals going. But every once in a while, you can get the token bags also. Yeah. And you might get a couple, but, maybe 5 or 10 is better than having 0. Yeah. That's the way I look at it all. Because those 10 add up after a while if you have everybody else doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So that works out.
Yeah, everybody goes for the money bags because they have the coins and the health packs.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you're going for those and you're getting tons of health packs, then you shouldn't be putting up as many heals either.
Yeah, and it goes with Feud. It goes with versus too. If you're in versus and you're seeing yourself constantly healing, that means there's something going on. Either change your roster size or switch out some of your characters. But that doesn't happen also, and then you get bogged down with tons and tons of tokens. You run out, and then during the week, everybody's wondering why nobody's getting healed.
Right. So. I mean, I personally don't open my my Feud domination bags. I save them for Feud, so I have 8, and if I use those 8, they're done for the day or whatever. I'm not opening those bags because those bags are meant to help out during Feud. So I will open 10 bags at the beginning of Feud, and I open more if I need them. But
I got 1,400. I got a shitload. I can never use them. It's always bugged. Every time I go, I see 20 names, but there's only the first 3-4 that you can actually heal, and the other it doesn't do anything.
Oh, but Scopely said in the last 4 updates they fixed in game chat, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I need a heal all.
2 years and some change.
Just give me a heal all. That would be great.
What's your feeling on this is a question that I've been asked, and it's a question that I've asked others. What's your feeling on the actual game itself, the developer end of the game? Is Scopely doing a job? Are the things they could do better? Are the things that people think that are not good that aren't as bad as they seem to be?
If you've played the game since the beta, you'll know that they've improved a lot. And I'm not going to say they're perfect by any means. I mean, sometimes they forget to put in code, and then we're sitting there staring okay, why did you forget to put in the code? You knew this was going to happen, or whatever it may be. So those things I understand, especially with as much money as they're making, they should be able to fix those issues. Invasion was another great idea. You're telling me they couldn't got a team together to actually play Invasion and realize, wait a minute, let's cut this down to 12 hours instead of a 24-hour event. Things like that. Those are some of the frustrating things overall.
Well, I know they were really excited about Invasion.
To play devil's advocate on running a 12-hour event, it's a global game.
Yeah, that's the issue.
And that's the answer we've gotten. When we suggested doing flash feuds, where randomly it'll pop up and there'll be a 6-hour feud going on, and you didn't have any time to prep. You just need to jump in and feud for the next 6 hours. The problem with that is, okay, we're going to do that at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're in California, it's noon to 6. If you're in, Des Moines, Iowa, it's, 2 to 8. If you're in New York, it's 3 to 9.
And if you're in the UK, you're fucked.
Right. If you're in the UK, now all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock at night till whatever. But then if you're in India, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 10 in the morning. So the reason they have to do a minimum of 24 hours for these things is because if you don't do 24 hours, you are isolating half the world.
Oh, okay, I got it. It's a good concept. Again, it was.
I think the concept of invasion was good. The execution of it was very poor.
Yeah, what they said was, like, if you were to do it at 12 hours, okay, you would isolate the other half of the world. But then some people suggested, well, then you can do it on the first 12 hours for one side, and then you do a secondary one on the other 12. But then they were like, but the hardcore factions, they're gonna go for both of them, and they're gonna feel like shit because they're gonna have to basically screw their whole life to get on the one that is not on their time frame, because they're gonna do both anyway. They're not gonna do like only half of them.
Right.
No, I got you. But no, other than that, the game's evolved a lot. I enjoy some of the things in the game. I don't enjoy the red rings like we always talk about because they've been there forever.
But they've gotten better too. They've gotten much better.
They have. They've gotten better, but they're still there.
Yeah.
And you can usually gauge when it's going to happen. Either the first hour or two of a feud, and then the last 2 hours of a feud. You're going to have red rings all day long. So just try to get everything in between. So you still have some of those things, but a lot of the things are just minor things that are issues in the game.
It's more annoyances.
It is. It's more, you know what, I don't like this because, like you said, it's an annoyance. That's really the only reason.
It's like the 00. It's now easily basically fixable by it's a 30-second fix, but it's still annoying, especially when there's no event to track your score and you got to take screenshot and then you forget one.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, but that's a nuisance. And like the thing is, I understand why they haven't fixed the 0-0 glitch, and the reason they haven't fixed it is because it's such an easy workaround. You leave your faction, you come back, it's done. It's annoying, but it's an easy fix.
No, I got you.
So they need to work on things that aren't such an easy fix before they work on the things
like lockouts and back then the ghosting.
The ghosting is a thing of the past. They said they were going to work on it. It's a thing of the past. It's done.
Yeah, that one was really annoying.
But nobody remembers it. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, now there's this problem. Now that. Well, unfortunately, sometimes when you fix one problem, that brings out 3 more. We're not coders. We don't know what's going on in the coding.
Nowadays, it's the lockouts the main issue.
It is. Yeah. And once it starts hitting another feud, like let's say Hollow was a perfect example. We had a lockout, and then you all and Grim had a lockout right after that feud. So we had 2 lockouts at the same time. There's nothing one of the factions would be able to do. So it just becomes an issue.
We'd have to start a new faction, and it wouldn't be. I mean, thankfully we had Creep Squad in place to just go in and we're gonna move everybody there, and it happened within the first 2 hours, so we were able to recover from it.
It seems it's always within the first 2 hours. Most factions that get locked out, it's never like in the middle of a feud. It's always
the
like
beginning of
the first couple hours.
Yeah, because I think for you all, it was like within the first hour, right?
It was an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, because ours was literally within the first, I want to say maybe 20 minutes.
I think I have an execution too. They got locked in the first brawl.
Yeah, they did.
So, and again, I'm not trying there are a lot of rumors going around. People saying, "Oh, it's being caused by a hacker. Oh, it's being caused by this." Oh, we don't know what's causing it. And I would really like for Scopely to come out and say, "Listen, we're working on a fix. This is what's causing it. See if your faction can prevent it." If they'd said, "Hey, it's being caused by somebody using an APK hack," you know what? That's when we start going on our witch hunts to find who's the hacker in the group. Right now I'm not going on a witch hunt.
Well, now if you notice, though, Scopely's actually given us more information than they ever have before.
We had
no idea what was going on in this game whatsoever.
Right.
So now you have an idea. You understand what's going on.
Yeah,
it's true.
So
it's absolutely true. Like
hey guys, can you give me 1 quick second? My daughter's going to bed. Just
go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah, take your time.
2 out of the house, and I have 2 in the house right now. So.
Kept going until you had a boy, and then you said that's enough.
No, we never had a boy. That was the problem.
You kept going trying to get that boy, and just at the 4 you're like, fuck it.
So last time I knew it was a girl, so I was like, it's another girl. So I don't know.
How old is the youngest? Well, how old's the oldest?
Oldest is 25.
Okay, and the youngest is that was your youngest we just saw?
Yeah, my little one, she's 9.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a nice range too.
Yeah.
They are, but you forget because it's let's see, my 7. So you're looking at about a 7-year difference. When we had our middle one, my 17-year-old, she we forgot how bad it was to have a baby because it had been literally 7-8 years before we had one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, why did we do this to ourselves? But
more diapers.
So like my son is 7. We're considering whether or not we want to have another one now. It's like if by the time we had another one, he'll be 8, 8.5. It's like, wait a minute, do we want to?
Yeah, we can't have another one, so we're gonna have this one. And that's it.
I just finished farming my 1,000 TP that I needed.
Yeah, I was doing King of Kings a little bit earlier.
I haven't even started that yet.
Yeah, I might wait till tomorrow morning, knock out some more for the lockbox, and try to help out. So, but no, it's been different. The game has been different, more streamlined. I like it a little bit better now. And there's more versatility, and like I said, it's not just one person that's kind of dominating the game because everybody has an equal chance across the board now. So
yeah,
no, definitely, any character could be any character on a given day, you know. And really, it comes down to who do you enjoy playing with. Like you could play with who you enjoy playing with.
Yeah.
Not just I have to use this guy because he's so overpowering. Like I hate Alberto Del Rio, but I used him because he was so overpowering for so long.
Yeah.
You know, now I can't even tell you the last time I actually used him.
Invasion. That was the last time I used him.
Probably.
Yeah, pretty much me too.
Yeah. He was holding up the west side of something. I don't know what he was holding up, but Berlin or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's changed. I enjoy it a lot more.
One thing, like I know trainers changed the game completely. I actually liked the game before trainers. It did require a little bit more strategy back then.
I kept saying for invasion, remove trainers.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But then your guys like Alberto Del Rio would actually become a little more overpowering again.
Yeah.
Because you hit that purple move, it leads into your green move. Like it causes that chain reaction without trainers.
Yeah, it's perfect flow, man. That was back in the day versus.
Yeah.
All you saw was Alberto Del Rio on top. Nothing else.
Yeah.
So it was like a chain.
And then for a while it was only Balor and Rollins. Mostly Balor. Everybody thought Balor was the shit for so long.
Yeah.
And that was funny how one person, let's just say for an example, if you were a whale and you had one character and you used them a lot, everybody kind of followed suit. And they kind of used that character, not really based on the moves, but more on the individual that was using it, or word of mouth was one of the big ones back then.
I mean, Balor's good. Don't get me wrong, Balor's good, but he was not the be all of end all. You know, he was very beatable. More so than Seth Rollins. You know, I personally always, there was always that great debate, and obviously now it's completely different when since the 4 stars are available, or even the fact that there's a green MP trainer. But before the green MP trainer, the biggest debate was always who's the best character in the game? Is it Tough or is it Balor? Yeah. Remember how long that argument went on for?
Yeah. Anybody you talked to, it was either 50-50. You didn't really know what they were going to say or come out with.
Right.
It was Balor, but it was Tough. I mean, and at one time, remember when Tough came out, a lot of people didn't use Tough when he first came out.
I remember getting him the first time he came out, and I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting." I mean, I just happened to be a Seth Rollins fan, so I pulled for him, and I got him. I was like, "Oh wow, this is pretty cool." And then like I didn't even look at his moveset before I pulled for him. I was like, "Oh, it's Seth Rollins. I'm going to pull for him," and I pulled for him, and I got him, and I looked at him like, "Wait a minute, he has 2 choose moves." And again, this is before trainers, and even when trainers did come out, I didn't have Daniel Bryan, so. But I'm like, wait a minute, this guy has 2. This guy's pretty cool. But I was still using Brock for everything because Brock was just my beast.
Brock was the man back then, yeah.
Before trainers, Brock was a beast.
He was.
He was one of my top 3-star gold.
He was my first mega, first person I brought to 3-star to 3-star silver, first person I brought to 3-star gold.
Daniel Bryan was my first 3-star.
Really? Mine was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That was my first.
And AJ was my second.
Yeah, AJ was the one right after that. I'm trying to figure out who was next.
Since I got everything on video on my channel, I often get people that message me from old videos, like reminding me of stuff that I got that I didn't even remember, or things that happened I didn't even remember. People know my roster better than I do.
I remember when you first started recording videos, we used to make fun of you all the time. We used to be like, this guy he just does pulls. He's like, fucking Ziggler. Every time you pulled.
That's another thing. There was no videos before. Now there's videos everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's why I started doing videos. There wasn't any.
he was the pioneer, and then Mark, who doesn't play the game anymore, started doing videos, and he got me to start doing videos, and like we became what's known as like the big three. The three of us. Obviously, Max is like a lot bigger than both of us combined.
I pretty much helped start half of the channels from
there are other
Champions
guys
now
who like, and the fact is like they're not getting the same support that we got because we're already, we're already here. But there are guys who are working harder than I am, much harder than I am, at trying to like make a name for themselves on YouTube.
It's really hard to
now
get
it's
going.
Like it's hard to get into it now. It's like me, it's it's easier for us because we're there already. Scopely recognizes us already.
No, definitely. That's the first thing I was told when I got back. Like, Brian's like a big YouTuber now, and I was like, oh wow, look at him all moving up now in the world.
Right.
It's good though, man. That's good. It's good to see everybody moved up, man. Some of the old faces now in the positions they're at, it's just good to see them.
I mean, like honestly, like after you left, obviously things changed a lot in Creep Squad. We lost that #1 rank. People started pointing fingers at each other. Eventually, like things seemed like they were starting to fall apart, like completely fall apart. A lot of people, including myself, left. But thankfully, Super's done a good job keeping things together and getting us back to where we are now. I commend him on that. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on here for one of these. He said he's a little camera shy, so.
No, I can't. Not Super. Super's not camera shy.
The first time I was in Creep, because this is, I think, the third time. I mean, the first time was Reigns that was in charge when I went. But back then it was Creep Squad. It wasn't Grim Creeper.
That must have been right after you left.
I don't remember what it was.
Probably.
I mean, I did Drinky Clan NXT, then Green Drinky Clan, then Now You See Me. Another one, I forgot the name. Then I did Haven, then Creep, then Execution, then A New Hope, then Creep, then A New Hope, now Creep.
I was in a very small faction. I mean, nobody healed, nobody even talked.
Right, we were all in one of those really small factions. Like we don't even count those. I mean,
I think I was there like 3 days, and then I saw Creep Squad, and there was I think there was only like at the time about maybe 5-6 people. So I joined them, and then ever since then, you
just thought the name was cool, right?
I actually no, man. It popped up, and I was like, Creep Squad, huh? Never heard of that. And then, bam, jumped in, and that was it. And then we started growing it. Yeah, I'm there, man. But I'm happy the faction has become something. I'm happy that the family has become something.
And that's what it is. Like, as you were saying, it really is like it's a family feeling. Like, yeah, we all have our own families, our wives, our children, our parents, our siblings. But like, I can't get my brother to sit down and play this game with me. I can't get my brother to stay on a voice chat with me until 5 o'clock in the morning, keeping me awake while I'm trying to feud. Like,
I know.
My wife can't stand YouTube and she can't stand wrestling, so.
Oh yeah, I get the dirty looks or the dirty texts at like 3 in the morning. Are you coming to bed? And I'm like, yeah, in about 10 minutes. And, 3 hours later, she texts me again. You're not coming to bed, are you? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna finish this out. So no, I know how it feels, but you know what? I enjoy it, man.
That's what it comes down to. Do you enjoy it? Like, because the day you stop enjoying it.
Excuse me.
Of course. Yeah. The day you stop enjoying it is the day it stops being a game. Yeah. And when it becomes a chore over a game, you need to walk away.
Yeah.
It was hard, man, when I left. It was very hard leaving pretty much the group. Being the president wasn't everything for me. It was just the fun that I had with everybody else. At the time, I believe we were in Creepy Legends, and I would go down there and mess with you guys. I had fun hanging out.
No, I actually never did a feud with Creepy Legends.
I thought you did one with them.
I didn't.
Oh no, yeah, you came in.
I came in right away.
Yeah, you did. You came in. But Creepy Legends was a great example. I remember when we merged with them and a bunch of other groups, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. It was something that
I enjoyed the climb. It was because I went from being like a top roster in Creepy Legends also to being like number 50 something in Creepy. I was like, holy shit, what is this?
No, yeah,
And then
it's a big
like
difference.
I remember the first day that I was in Creep Squad and a new Mega came out, and like all the blue bags. So I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, tons of blue bags. Yeah, those were the days. Remember you had, what did you get? Like, God knows, we had like 100,000 some blitz.
Oh yeah,
coupons.
because
I
you
was
got
like,
250 every blue bag you opened. It was crazy.
You're like, oh my God, it was insane.
And
now you can barely get enough.
And before the open all button, you were just stacking those blue bag for when there was like a earn coins event, and you had like 2,000 of them.
I would give my son $1 to open my bags for me.
I did the same thing too. I would give my little one $1 and say, just push this button and keep pushing it. And she would just do that for like an hour.
I was probably cheap because I didn't pay her to do it. She just did it to help me.
It's on your board, chores. You know, knock out
Daddy's
dailies. Yeah, open his bags and knock out his daily.
She's spoiled anyway. She didn't need $1.
I let my son, he does his own dailies, but I let him play mine once in a while. I'm like, here, go use Eddie, have fun.
I saw him and he won the championship.
That's because nobody else entered, so I just put his name in there.
There you go. He won it though. At least he's the tag team champ. Or actually the world heavyweight champ. Yeah, that's right.
Well, not anymore, but someone took over. Somebody took over. But...
Hey, I made 3rd last feud.
I saw that, man.
That's the first time I was ever nominated for anything in any faction.
Hey, brother, I will have to say something about you, though, Max. You are the most humble person I've ever met. I'll be honest with you. You move up and you come back down. You don't complain. You don't say anything. When you get called back up, you do whatever you do. And I never hear anything bad from you. So I just wanted to say that you're a very humble individual. I respect that.
I don't especially care on where I feud. The only thing I find annoying is all the questions from people that ask me why I'm in Hollow and not on the main. That's the only thing that annoys me. When people ask me, but with your roster, why are you in Hollow? Well, because I got shit scores for a long time.
Right, and I don't think people understand it. Roster means nothing. You can have take a look at like 2 perfect examples. If you look at Creepy Dreams, we have KH9 and Black Fox 1977. They both have these monster rosters, but they're not all about feud. Yeah. They enjoy playing the game. They enjoy having huge rosters. They don't mind spending a few dollars. Obviously, KH9 does not mind spending a few dollars, but they don't feud. Like, I think KH9 doesn't average when he feuds. He does like 750 to $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's
I had like a month in A New Hope where I was just too busy and I did like 2.5 to 3 million only. So that made me pretty bad scores.
and
I'm building back up.
So if you had to give one message to anybody who's starting out the game, working hard to work their way up in their faction, or trying to resurrect the faction, what would it be? Let's get one of those JBurn inspirational speeches that I missed.
Man, I haven't done that in a very long time.
It has been a very long time.
It has been. Actually, you know what? One thing I've noticed, especially now at the game, is patience. Do not be quick to jump the gun on whether it's an event, whether it's, buying tokens or even involved events or whatever it may be. Don't be quick to doing that. Take your time, see what everybody else is doing, and communicate. I think that's one of the biggest things that I think people need to do is communicate with others. And don't be scared to tell somebody, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. You think I should go for this 4-star gold, or you think I should involve this one? Whatever it may be, I think that's the biggest thing. It's just patience and communication. Don't be afraid of talking to some of these guys that have big rosters, because some of them really just want to help. Some of them are just sitting there with big rosters, not really doing much. And if somebody asks them for some information, they'll be more than happy to help. And there's a lot of people out there that could use the help. So that's my advice to them. Just be patient, and it takes time. You're not going to get to the top real quick. That's about it.
All right, folks. So we thank you for joining us today on our special episode of the Big Papa Cast. I am your host with my co-host, Big Papa, along with Max. Today we had our very special guest, the man, the myth, and the legend, the great JBurn. Burn, thank you for joining us so much today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We're so humbled that you would take time out of your busy schedule to join us. I mean, I don't know how busy it is. You're retired at this point, but
Everyone I know who's retired doesn't have any hours in a day to do everything they do.
Yeah, my mom, and I'll leave you with this. My mom retired about 12 years ago, and she said, I don't know how I did everything I did when I was working because I don't have enough time to do everything now that I'm retired.
Yeah.
It is true. It is
so
true.
On that note, again, if you're not already a subscriber on my channel or, of course, on Max's channel, you're more likely a subscriber on his than on mine because he has 6,000 more subs than I do. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there at the bottom. If you have a comment, go ahead and leave a comment. And, of course, like the video and Papa out.
Thanks. Ciao.
Thanks, brother.